Going over to the political part podcast, you have a record number of people joining the military under the leadership of Pete Hegseth, as well as Donald J. Trump, which, looks, when you actually recruit the core demographics that are traditionally been part of your military, the numbers go up because you're appealing to, again, what was historically core who is joining the military. Now, this comes to us thanks to Libs at TikTok, in which she says, quote, Trump highlights the record number of people signing up to join the military under Pete Hegseth's leadership. During the Biden administration, there's a record low recruitment, and the military continuously missed the recruiting goals. Make our military great again, unquote, which, yeah. Now, there is a statistical anomaly. I think it's partially because of the heritage of the organization, as well as having the great marketing, as well as the brotherhood. But the only branch of the U.S. military that has never missed the recruiting goals is the United States Marines. Also, admire them. They're the only, out of all the branches, they're the only one that actually is fiscally responsible in terms of tracking all their gear. They're the one that was able to pass their audit. Just kind of funny because some people pejoratively say Marines aren't as sharp as other divisions, and yet they're the one that can actually track all the gear that they use. So it is kind of funny. Now, here's someone's voice who's infinitely better than mine. Hear what Trump has to say here.
But I would like to ask Secretary Hegseth, who's doing a fantastic job. He's really been very inspiring in so many ways. And I must say that before he speaks, we have had record people wanting to join our military in the last 2.5 months, literally since this, I think probably since the election, November 5th, but especially since we came to office and since I announced Pete. He's young, he's smart, he's strong, he loves it, and they love him. But we've had record numbers of people wanting to join our military. Now, if you go back 6 months, it was the exact opposite. You had record numbers of people not wanting to join the military. Now you have record numbers of people wanting to be in our military. And that's a great honor. That shows you we're really on the right track. So, Pete, maybe you'd say a few words.
Sure.
Please.
And that got only 91,000 views and 2.1 thousand likes. But I think it's very significant because, again, the U.S. needs a strong military. And for years, it's been getting weaker and weaker and more anemic. So thankfully, we're starting to see it become more robust. I can't but think the standards will also increase. One of the ways they were moving the numbers around in terms of trying not to look as bad was they would decrease the standards all the time to get more recruits to join and actually, to be a part of the military, though temporarily, because a lot of them would flunk out or, they're meeting the test goals, they're passing the test, but in terms of long-term viability as, member of the military, they're just kind of flaking out. Now, some of the top comments include, especially handsome and brilliant. So I'll read this one. It's me, the topping show. I say, America is healing, getting 1 like. I would argue it's the best like. Or Trump would say, it's all about the quality over the quantity. That's the best like, bar none. I don't know who it was, but they're the best. I'll have to check the phone. You also have Paul Zupas and go, imagine that. Remove the wokeness and everything gets better. Getting 27 likes. John says, strong military that hopefully won't have to use. You have a bunch of voters that are going for America first, and the other booth is labeled War with Iran, getting 9 likes. That is something I do suspect will be a variable in terms of increasing recruitment. And again, obviously we have the Border Patrol. There's a special division for that purpose. But I know a lot of my friends, like growing up, some of my friends did, take up the calling. They joined the military, and I have the utmost respect for them. Some friends who were on the fence about it, one of the biggest points of contention was the fact that, a lot of our military is going halfway across the globe to places you couldn't point to on a map. And it was harder to show that direct correlation to protecting Americans. Now, I know that's a kind of a big debate in and of itself in terms of the war on terror, keeping global stabilization. But that was one of the reasons so many of my friends kind of felt dissuaded. Like, why would I need to go all the way over there? If the military's number one goal is protecting our border, then don't forget about those sneaking Canadians on the northern border. I think the participation rate and the adoption rate of people joining the U.S. military would also increase if they could have that direct line of sight of where we are actually protecting America. Again, I know global stabilization is an important factor, an important thing for the military to do. It also stabilizes the global economy, global trade. I understand those theories. But in terms of direct correlation of seeing your job and having a different type of feeling and accomplishment, I think that could also increase the military numbers. Though if you think differently, obviously, let me know in the comments. Wade Miller says, quote, turns out a lot of patriots weren't willing to join the military under a woke anti-America regime, getting 11 likes. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. The Department of Deportation, oddly specific profile names, says, quote, you mean jogging with troops is more inspiring than having a weird COVID mask, getting 2 likes. Feeling says no more of this since who's that guy? Was it Rachel Levine, the general who is a man who transitioned to be a woman, who inspired 18 people to join the military, approximately. So yeah, great news about the U.S. military growing, and it will be interesting to see how many fiscal quarters or how many quarters of the year we can keep that going in terms of the increased recruitment rate. And let me know, why do you think is the number one reason we're having those numbers go up? As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.